The Philadelphia 76ers are all in on the process, extending Joel Embiid to some big bucks. Me, Steve-O, and Bobby are going to talk about it right after the intro.
Thank you for tuning in to the number one place for your basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the Cognac Boys.
What's the word, NBA basketball fans? We got breaking news. The Philadelphia 76ers have decided to bet the house on MVP or former MVP Joel Embiid agreeing to a contract extension of 3 years, 193 M's. Ooh, fellas, how y'all feeling about this? Who goes you, Bobby?
For sure. I guess for sure. I mean, sometimes you gotta, regardless of what it is, when it comes down to it, these guys ain't really got no choice but to offer the money. Um, and hell, Joel Embiid, honestly, I respect him for investing in himself long term. Regardless of what has been happening on the basketball field, we still got to show him a lot of love for sticking it out for with one team.
Mm-hmm.
We always come in here and we want to kind of hold that tradition of guys staying with one team, trying to work it out. You know what I'm saying? If things go too bad, then we'll understand if a move is wanted or if it happens. But for the most part, I respect them guys locking in long term with them. Hopefully, Joel Embiid can get over the hump of getting past the second round to reward Philly for all the money that he's been given. Right now, it is. I ain't trying to count the man's pocket, Big Kev. But the man is made by the end of this contract is gonna be over $500 million made, bro.
Yeah, that's three hundred and
Crazy.
one million dollars over the next 5 years, guaranteed, with a player option at 2028, 2029, according
Crazy.
to Shams. He's gonna have to get what we can't say Woj, mom, but it's gonna be
No,
a sham what? Because
it's
a
gonna be a
sham.
sham god.
I was about to say that a sham god. But yeah, he reported it, man. Steve-O, how you feeling about this man getting this contract extension? Obviously, we're not trying to count his pockets good for him, but how you feeling about the
I,
contract extension?
I just find it funny how the term slogan, the process was a collective of people and an idea, and it just became one person after that
Mm-hmm.
process ended. Like that's just funny to me. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's kind of what Bobby said. Like no matter what's going on, like when you have that type of talent, no matter the injury risk or not, you just gotta pay him. And I'm just at the point of that it's time. We're in the times where you could get somebody 200, 300 million. We only gave them 190. So to me, you got yourself a little bit of a bargain for the caliber of talent that you got. So yeah, like to me, go do what you got to do. You went to go pay him. That's one less thing you got to worry about. So now your focus is on being a contender and trying to go get this chip finally and complete the goddamn process that you've been talking about for the last 6 years.
Yeah,
Facts.
I mean, for a player of his caliber, he was drafted in 20, I think 15, but didn't play that year. Played in 2016. He's gotten better every year, pretty much. Uh, Offensively, defensively, he's not as good as he was as a rookie. 2.5 blocks a game as a rookie in 31 games. 63 games is next year. 64, 51, 51, 68, 66, and 39. So it's clear that you're probably not going to see 82 games from a player this guy's caliber, his size. He always gets hurt. He plays kind of with reckless abandon, always falling, so on and so forth. Last season, though, before you got hurt, fellas, he was averaging 34 and a half points with 11 rebounds. I felt like he was going to be the MVP before he went down. He's going to have, I guess, back-to-back MVP, if I'm not mistaken, if he didn't go down with that injury. How you guys feeling about his chances this season, though? Can we see 70 games from Joel Embiid this year and him leading the Philadelphia 76ers, Nick Nurse and company, to a championship or at least to the Eastern Conference Finals?
I think they're gonna be more focused on having them ready for the playoffs. So I would say under. If we betting the over or the under for 70 games, I'm going under. I think they're gonna the goal for them is gonna be more so around 65 games, I believe. That's why you go in and you go get a Paul George and who they're gonna monitor his games as well. So it's gonna be a lot of those situations. I will give credit to Joel Embiid. He was absolutely hurt. It was something palsy or you know what I'm saying. I'm not a doctor, so excuse me on the terminology, but
I
he
was
was
like
in the play.
palsy or
Yeah, like cerebral palsy. What was it called? I forget.
Yeah,
It was
cerebral palsy.
yeah, cerebral
Mhm.
palsy. There we go. So that was a situation, and he was playing basically with a jacked up knee. So they rewarded him. They rewarded him, but he ain't playing 70 games next season.
Yeah, the
Steve
hot spot is always going to be between 60 to 65 games with him. The only person that's probably touching near 80 games is Tyrese Maxey on his team. He the young
Mhm.
gun. He the youngest, and he's as far as I'm concerned, going back to Kentucky, he don't really have a history when it comes to injury. Knock on wood. So, yeah, like I don't think they're trying to cater to because we paid him, we got to get every single drop. No, the point is we're paying him so we can win the championship. So that's the
And
whole point.
and to keep him locked in because he was kind of hinting
He
toward getting up
would,
out of
yeah,
there a couple of seasons ago.
yeah.
So this makes the I think this is the Atlantic Division. You got the New York Knicks, you got the world champion Boston Celtics, and you got the Philadelphia 76ers. That division is that they're going all in. They're pushing all their chips into the table, man. How y'all feeling about the Atlantic Division going into this season with Joel Embiid and the Sixers? The Knicks, and I know we talked about it before, but now we're getting closer to the season. Are we feeling confident about these teams in the Atlantic Division?
I
Go
feel
ahead.
pretty good about them. They're gonna be it's gonna be tough. And more specifically the 76ers. I think they got what they absolutely needed. No, they didn't go back and get Jimmy Butler, but you got somebody who can go ahead and put the ball in the basket just as good or if not better than Jimmy Butler and still sound and solid on the defensive end. So I think that's what it's going to come down to for the 76ers and Nick Nurse's. How do you maximize Paul George when you absolutely need him? And then how do you lean on Joel Embiid when you need him to take over the game? I think it's
Hmm.
going to come down to a lot of those things, especially with the continuity when you talk about Tyrese Maxey, because you can't forget about him and you don't want to
Hmm.
stunt his growth. So it's gonna have to be some sacrifices made. It's gonna have to be some tough conversations that come to hand. And because if you looking at, you talk about the Knicks, they look like they ready to guard anybody.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The biggest question, we know they're gonna be able to put the ball in the basket, but we're gonna try to see how it's gonna work for them. And when it comes to Boston, they trying to run this whole thing back, and they the champions for a reason, and they still relatively young, and now they got more heat coming their way. So now they got to go out here and come out with a bigger chip on their shoulder. Who knows
Yeah,
what's going to come out of Boston with everybody talking greasy, acting like they just didn't win that championship.
facts. And before you go, Steve-O, we know the additions that Philly made. They brought back Andre Drummond. They sneakily went in Eric Gordon, Reggie Jackson. You got Caleb Martin over there as well. KJ Martin, athletic wing as well. So the others are, and Kelly Oubre's back as well. So the others are there. Do you think that this team has what it takes to compete with Boston in the Eastern Conference?
I
You
think
talking to
right
me?
now it's going to be,
I'm
Oh,
talking to
oh, I was
Steve-O,
going to say,
Steve-O.
oh, go ahead.
I think he's answered it because he just talked.
No,
Oh,
Go
my
ahead,
bad.
for
Bobby.
sure. I mean, me
It makes sense.
personally, I think that is just like they will be able to compete. Because I think that though Kristaps Porzingis is a good center, he gonna have problems with Joel Embiid because he's too light. But Joel Embiid is gonna have to absolutely play the other side because KP, if he's healthy, can
You're
light
gonna
it
bring
up
him
on
out.
exactly and bring him out. So it's
I
gonna
think
be
he's
an
gonna be.
interesting matchup. But I like the wing depth that they brought in. You got PG. You talk about Kelly Oubre. You talk about Martin. So they're gonna have to be able to guard and face up against Boston. I think they match up pretty well. But obviously, you still got to get a nod to the champions because we haven't seen Joel Embiid make it past the second round.
And KP is hurt at least for the beginning of the season. He's still recovering from that injury he suffered in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
to me, this whole division is kind of fluky because if you think about it, they all just it's unknowns. Like you would think, yeah, they got the everything. Philly got everything to compete, but we never know how the season gonna go. Same with the Knicks. We done seen them reload, and this team could be completely different by the time the season start. Boston, they had the sweetest goddamn finals run we ever seen. We don't even know if they like that for real. So it's just like that's why I say it's like the flukiest because you really it's not like okay, we know these teams. Like it's a lot of still unknown when it comes to Boston, New York, and Philly when it comes to if you the whole overall aspect when it comes to the end of the season when it comes to them. So you never know what it's gonna look like.
For sure.
Yeah, man, it's definitely gonna be interesting. NBA season is right around the corner, and that man, Joel Embiid, the process, just woke up to a bag of money, bro. That's crazy, bro. The conversations that these guys be having. 301 M's over the next 5 years for this guy. They invested in him. We'll see if Philly's able to get over that hump and win a championship within that time span, or if this is gonna have another legendary dude to get a tiny statue at the end of his career.
A tiny statue on road.
All right, man. Y'all already know what it is. NBA Central, man. We come through, we kick it. We're gonna be ratcheting it up, ramping it up as the season gets closer with more daily episodes and more analysis on the games as they start happening in the preseason. Steve O, Bobby, y'all got anything else to say before we get up out of here?
Hey, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe.
Yes, sir. Like, subscribe, and share. Comment. Let us know what y'all think about Joel Embiid and if he gonna loan you $20. We gonna holler at y'all next time. Peace.
That is my
This has been a presentation